Hi, this is Matt Ullman, and I haven't made something for a while, but that's just because nothing's really come up. It's the good and bad thing of having a very dull life is while you like to do these things, there's really nothing to say. Something just happened though, and when I talked about moving on to Dilantin and some of the things I found there, I got a little bit of good advice. I'm gonna try it again. I've been on Phenytoin for a couple of years now, and I've just gotten done talking to my doctor. They've been giving me, since I moved back to Mankato, a depression test, which I always do like 15 or between 13 and 17 on. And we finally got to talking, and I think it was because I had a student, and I think it was more that she was looking at things that he, because we've talked, just kind of shrugged off. I've had what I consider depression for about 25 years. It started when I switched from phenobarbital to Xarelto in 8th grade. And this was supposed to be one of the miracle cures because I was very hyper. I had no fuse. I could get instantly angry. And so they were trying Xarelto to see if it would work. Well, it probably wasn't the best place to live to do this. We were living at McCrossin Boys Ranch, which was a juvenile ranch that my dad worked at. And so you can kind of guess that the people that I was around, it wasn't probably the best place to try to get used to a new, basically a mental um, medicine. So I got to the point where I realized it wasn't doing any good, but I didn't want to get switched again because I was doing horribly in school. And so I started to bury my feelings. A couple of people, Jeremy Brett, Sherlock Holmes, somebody who's very cold, chuckles every now and then, but it's mostly to thoughts of him, little things that go through his mind. Or unless he's on cocaine, and then he's really funny. He laughs a lot when he's on. Can't tell if it was cocaine or opium. It was injected. I don't know. I think he was on both at one point. But anyway, and then Commander Data, Star Trek: The Next Generation had just come out, so here was this android who couldn't feel emotion was just going from problem to problem with pure logic and not really thinking about it. And it's like, well, that's kind of neat actually. And so I started emulating people like that, and just the more I pushed feelings down, the easier it got to be to just not think about it. And now, 20 some years later, it's a habit. It's a habit I can't break because I forgot how I even started. I'll have moments where I'll giggle, but I'm very susceptible to emotions like, well, Doctor Who. The new Doctor Who series is very well written and very depressingly written in some cases. And it does choke me up a lot, but it's just an instinct now. I just push those thoughts down. So I was talking to the student about that, and my doctor came in, we started talking, and he was thinking, I just had an MRI, and I could have sworn when I moved back that I had had my stuff authorized that they could get all my records. Apparently, nothing ever happened because they didn't have my old MRI stuff, so they wanted to get one so they could look at it. Well, then they were talking about me seeing a neurologist and possibly getting put on antidepressants. One of the main reasons I've never really talked about this is because I'm on basically what I believe they call a psychotropic drug for anti-seizures. And I don't want to become one of these people who goes out, has medication, then has something else, and then has to go down the slippery slope of just taking medications to counter the side effects. I will not do that. I don't care how messed up I get, I will not do that. I'm not going to do that to myself. So it sounded like in a few weeks I'll see the neurologist, then we'll see what's going on. And I don't know. I'm just wondering, is anybody else on Dilantin or the generic Phenytoin ever been on antidepressants? If so, I'm on three capsules a day, at night. So I was just wondering, has anybody else ever run into this? What was your experience with it? Because I'd be interested to know. This is something I've never been on anything other than anti-seizure medication. Like I take Claritin, but that's because I have horrible allergies. But I've never been on any other prescribed drug for any length of time. It's always just, it started with phenobarbital, it went to Zerantin, and then it went to Dilant and Phenytoin. So that's all I've ever been on. I've never been on anything else. Part of me is happy that I'm finally getting to the point that I can start dealing with. I mean, come on, 25 years is a long time to deal with this stuff. And so I'm just kind of wondering, how has that affected you? Has it affected your, something that somebody didn't see coming, and let me know what you're on. So if he says, hey, we should try this, I can go into it knowing that. I'm just looking for ideas. They said it'd be about 4 to 6 weeks, so I've got plenty of time to do some looking. So thanks, and leave a comment below.